So it's really no secret that the Thunderbolts is something that Marvel Studios has in development for down the road. It's probably one of those unannounced dates that they have coming in the next 3 years. But now we're going to talk about all the little clues in the Black Widow trailer that point towards the Thunderbolts happening. So just to start off, Black Widow is something that not many people understood was coming. With Endgame and then Spider-Man, many people thought going forward, the films are just going to continue going down that route with what happens. I've seen, due to many people online and just a casual reaction, people were very confused as to why we're getting another prequel. Now, obviously, they're going to be setting up a few pieces here in this film that will pay off in the future. So, for instance, the Thunderbolts is something that Marvel Studios has had in development for multiple years now. We more or less know it's coming down the road, and we know Marvel Studios has been saving some of the villains to set up this version of the Thunderbolts. Now, of course, a big takeaway in this is the character of Thunderbolt Ross, who ends up becoming the Red Hulk. We've seen set photos where he's walking around with a red cane. Now, in the trailer, he has very much been de-aged. Again, leading to that old theory that was out there before we saw anything, that he was going to be setting up his own team during the course of this film. The team would include a Black Widow, obviously Yelena, since Black Widow is dead after Endgame, keeping David Harbour around, who of course is Red Guardian for the future, having the likes of the Taskmaster continue to live on in the MCU, and then connecting some of the other pieces around the MCU which are going to be in different franchises, such as the US Agent and possibly even Baron Zemo. Now, of course, there's other candidates out there that have been in the Thunderbolts, and you could always change around the teams, which Marvel Comics have done as well, since the Thunderbolts are Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad. And just by looking at it, you can see how they're trying to place the pieces in here. While there are no Avengers to protect Earth, and it's kind of unclear what is happening with them and why they're fragmented, they can set up the Thunderbolts to fill in that void and be sort of a amalgam of the Dark Avengers slash the Thunderbolts slash this government agency that quote unquote has their own heroes. And again, we see that these are the pieces that are in play here, being placed throughout this entire film. So it's really not going to be surprising if that's one of the post-credit scenes, because that is the direction they're heading in, and Marvel Studios certainly has teased that property multiple times ever since 2011, really, when it was first brought up to Kevin Feige. So I think it's guaranteed more or less in the next 4 years you're gonna see the Thunderbolts, but Black Widow is really gonna be the kind of formation of this idea that the villains have their own team. And of course, there's other characters out there. We recently talked about them. The Abomination could always make a comeback. The Leader is something that they've expressed interest in continuing that story, and maybe with She-Hulk you could establish him there, and multiple other pieces, which I'm sure will factor into it down the road.